Quarter for the hour, 866-99-SIRIUS, 866-997-4748. As promised, the Democrat running for governor in Florida. This is election eve, primary eve. Lord have mercy. And this brother's real practical. He gets it. That's why he's here. He needs y'all's help. We need your help. I need your help to get this brother elected tomorrow, or at least get him to win the primary, then go on into November. Andrew Gillum is here, the mayor of Tallahassee. Hey, bro, how you feel this morning?
What's going on, Mark? I'm feeling great, brother. I'm feeling excellent, man. We've been on this. I guess this now makes our 8th day of our statewide bus tour, and the energy has been incredible all over the state, Mark. Last night, I was back in my birth city, Miami-Dade, Florida. I had my mom, my dad, my brothers, families, cousins, relatives, everybody. The man that baptized me as a kid, we hadn't lived in Miami since 1992, and the community just came on around, man, and it was pretty amazing. I'm ready to win this race tomorrow, man. We're just ready to pull this thing on out.
The hashtag is Bring It Home.
Bring it home.
First of all, let's be real practical. Is it too late for listeners if they want to get a phone call list and do some phone banking from you wherever they are?
Oh, it is not.
Okay.
In fact, if folks want to visit our website at andrewgillum.com, volunteer, we can plug you right in, and you can make calls from anywhere, around the world, but certainly around the country. If you believe like I believe that we've got to flip this state blue. It's been a long time in Florida, Martin. You know this. It's been 20 years since we've elected a Democrat to the office of governor of the state of Florida. And in my case, we firmly believe that when made the Democratic nominee, that we offer the best chance of a Democrat winning back the governor's mansion, largely because the voters who have been missing in these elections, black voters, brown voters, young voters, poor voters, right? I trust my chances at being able to reach those constituencies better than anybody else running.
And indeed, and a big weekend on the tour. You had Angela Rye down there with you too, didn't you?
Yeah, man, she's still with us.
Good.
We're in Gainesville today, where I graduated high school, doing an event here, and then she's going over to Jacksonville to Edward Waters College. I'll be heading up to Tallahassee. We're doing a big rally. Michael Eric Dyson, Angela Rye, myself will be in Tallahassee this evening, 6 p.m. at Florida A&M University, where we're going to round out our statewide bus tour. Looking forward to it too, man.
Florida A&M, FAMU. When I told you, brother, I was going to try to make it. I'm sorry I couldn't. But I thought about it.
General, we're gonna get you in the general.
We're doing it in general. And look, if I was down there now, I couldn't be on the radio this morning talking to the nation, telling them to go to andrewgillum.com/volunteer, and he still could use a little bit of money too, folks. So, right, it's not too late to give either.
We unfortunately won't be able to start taking money again until the 29th. And
okay, I got you.
Off 5 days before the election. But we're going to pick that right back up on the 29th after I become the Democratic nominee for governor.
What are the polls saying right now?
It's funny you ask, because we just got one that came out this morning. And previously they had us in third or fourth. Today we are solidly in second place, coming off the heels of a surge. And I think we are still surging as voters get to know me and get to hear our message. I firmly believe we're going to take the first position. We are well within striking distance. Frankly, what it comes down to, you know this as well as I do, Mark, the only poll that matters is how people vote. We got to get out and vote, man. We've got all the voters that we need that are out there. The question is whether or not we're going to do what we've got to do, go out there, let our voices be heard, because as you talk about so often on your show, and I know I try to preach as I move around the state, that democracy is not a spectator sport. It requires our engagement, our involvement. When we choose not to be involved, like we did in 16, 6 million fewer voters than who voted in 12, we end up with what we got in the White House.
That's right.
And I think all of us recognize that we're not well served by that. And so elections are choices. And our choices have consequences. Our absence from making a choice also has a consequence. So we need people to get out there and vote, man. We got to vote like our lives depend on it. In fact, if you're Trayvon Martin or you're Marquise McLaughlin, Your life very much so depends on who the governor is of the state of Florida when we've got a law like Stand Your Ground, which is law in the state of Florida, which does not deserve to be law in anybody's civilized society.
No.
But we can't do anything about that unless we vote.
That's right. Andrew Gillum with us, folks. How about the crowds? What's the enthusiasm been like on the Bringing Home bus tour, man?
It's been incredible. And I'm telling you this, in every part of the state. It's not just been, people are, Gillum only does well in urban audiences. That's not true. We started in the northern panhandle of the state in Pensacola, Florida, and we had crowds just overflowing, very diverse crowds, older, younger, white, black, Hispanic, Asian. It's incredible. And I think what people are connecting to is the fact, and I said this when I was with you before, man, I am of the five of us on the Democratic side running, I'm the only non-millionaire. In fact, I may be the only candidate on the Democratic side running for governor that has a mortgage, right? My wife and I get up every day going to work to make sure we can provide for ourselves and our three children. The lived experience that we have in this state is more like the voters who we need over anybody else running. And I'm not saying that it is mandatory. I'm simply saying I don't need a poll. I don't need a weather meter or a messaging expert to tell me what I believe. I believe what I believe because I've lived it, because I've experienced it. And I just think that puts a different kind of fire and urgency in our belly when in public policy making, we know what it means to live people's everyday experience. That's what's been missing in politics. It's certainly what's been missing in my state. A governor who says, we're not expanding Medicaid for 700,000 of the most medically needy people, leaving $6 billion of federal money on the table. Or a governor when Barack Obama, who tried to send us $2.4 billion to build high-speed rail across the I-4 corridor, says, no, thank you. We don't take Obama money. That's not Democrat or Republican. This is basic and what's common. The job of the governor of the state of Florida is to do what is in the best interest of the people of the state. And we haven't had that. And it's time to put common and decent back in office.
Folks, this is big. We just had every soul to the polls, early voting in it yesterday, right?
Yes.
And how do you think that went? The whole early voting process.
Well, it was great. We were down in South Florida, right? So it's the numbers there are just so much bigger. It was a constant flow of people. Folks got out of church. Churches hosted barbecues at the precincts. It was popping all throughout South Florida where we were. But I will tell you, the black vote, for instance, in the state of Florida could represent as much as 32% of the electorate.
That's right.
I think right now, looking at the projections, it's hovering around 29%, right? So people really have to show out, show up in this process tomorrow and vote. If they don't vote, look, you can't complain, and it's verifiable, right? We can go and look at who voted and who didn't.
So and I'm on your Instagram, and do I see a picture here, folks? You can see it on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Make it plain, and also on my Instagram, Minister with 2 T's. Do I see one of the Castro brothers campaigning with you?
Yeah, former Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Julian Castro, former mayor of San Antonio, a brother that I've known for almost 15 years. We both were city councilmen. He was in San Antonio when I was first elected in Tallahassee, and we got to know each other, both he and his brother Joaquin, the congressman. And he came down and spent 2 days with us, man, moving throughout South Florida. Just an incredible friendship and partnership, and he went around this state barnstorming with us, and I appreciate so much Secretary Castro for his support.
AndrewGillum.com/volunteer, folks. Down to the wire. You can help. You can get involved. Make some calls. The eve of the Florida primary. We're going to talk to Andrew again in the morning. All right? We're going to keep pushing this. I'm going to push this throughout the show. Let's make this happen. Brother, love you. Love to the family.
Love you, man.
And we'll talk again in the morning, folks. AndrewGillum.com/volunteer. Good luck, brother. We'll talk in the morning, okay?
Man. We'll talk in the morning, brother.
All right, beautiful. Andrew Gillum, ladies and gentlemen. We will take a break, and then we'll be right back. SiriusXM Progress. Once we get an update from the Black Voters Matter bus tour that's going through Florida right now. Don't go away. SiriusXM Progress 127 Resistance Radio. Get woke and vote. Get ready for impeachment. This is MIP.